on Valley Free Radio.
WXOJ
103.3 FM, Northampton, Mass.
Cultural Impact.
Cultural Impact, Impacto Cultural. We're here in the morning of the 28th, April 28th, on Sunday, 11:01 p.m., Valley Free Radio. Darlene, are you here with me?
Of course, Chico.
You made it kind of photo finish, though.
Yeah.
Admit it to the people listening to us.
Yes.
She made it last minute. I thought she wasn't going to make it, but she did. She made it literally a minute before we started.
I'm always on time, Rene, you know that.
You're always on time, except when you're not on time. But that's
Yes.
okay.
How you doing this morning?
I'm actually in a good mood. Very, very good mood. And very excited about the guest we're going to have today and the topics we're going to be discussing today.
Absolutely. You know, I was messaging him this morning. It's Eliezer Molina. And I was telling him, mira, tú estás caliente. You are hot. Like everybody wants to hear from you.
That's true.
And he kind of laughed about it, right? So I was telling him also that I wanted him to offer a small bio about him. And, he was like the most humble man. He was like, no, I don't like talking about myself, Just let people know that I'm from the campo. And,
That's what I saw. I saw some of his pictures. I actually added myself to his page, which he posts really interesting stuff. And all his pictures are like him cutting down like sugar cane or, or palm trees.
He's with the machete, in the right hand with these, ropes that are guarding him, But, for people who are tuning in, what the campo means is the countryside, right? And that's where, all of our agricultural resources come from in Puerto Rico. And, there's some folklore that goes with that, right? That's where the jibaro comes from, right? And that's where you say you're Boricua, from the pura cepa. So, we're really happy to have this man come on to, our show today to discuss with us, Puerto Rico and independence and, how it is that Puerto Rico can turn its economy around. Because one of the things that I recall, I've gone to many presentations and many lectures in my time about Puerto Rico. In the last 3 years, I've up that. I'm sure you've gone to a few yourself, right?
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that I find that we're lacking in these lectures is the fact that we're not talking about how Puerto Rico is going to survive. We're talking about all the things that are going wrong, the weak infrastructure, the corruption, the lack of response from the United States. But, the number one question I believe that is on people's minds these days is, if we were not to be dependent on the United States, how is it that we're going to survive? And I really think, I've been following Eliezer for a little while now, and I really think he has some good insight as to the answer to that question. What do you think?
I think so too. I heard his speech, which, the speech heard around the world, as I like to joke around it, because he did a speech in front of a lot of the politicians from the USA. Rob Bishop, I believe, was there. I don't know if Raul Grijalva was there, Nidia Velázquez, and some of the other Congress people from the USA were there to listen, quote unquote, listen to the people of Puerto Rico. I think they've done enough listening, in my opinion. But to listen to what people have to say, and Eliezer, let them know. Oh, you want to listen to us? So he gave them a speech that everybody started sharing on Facebook, despite any.
That went viral, right?
It went viral. People of all political persuasions, Populares, PNP, Independentistas, pretty much agreed with his very straightforward explanation that there's no way to develop Puerto Rico if within the colonial status. But he did it in such a way that maybe other independentistas have not evoked it. He used the words that convince. It's not the message, it's how you say it and how it's delivered. And he delivered it in a way that resounded with everybody. So,
it's resonating with the people, everybody, particularly the working class people, people who have just a true interest in the outlook of Puerto Rico, right? So, this is really a good thing that we're doing. In regards to Puerto Rico's status these days, what's going on?
Well, I mean, the struggle continues. I know that there's funny enough, I was watching the news today, and they're preparing for the May 1st protest. It's become kind of a a tradition now.
La Milla de Oro,
the Milla de Oro. I am not particularly fond of that because once it becomes habitual and expected by the people of Puerto Rico and the government that every May we're going to have a protest, and then nothing really happens after the protest, then it doesn't have an effect.
I'm going to be the devil's advocate here, though, because I think a couple years ago we saw Puerto Ricans on the island shut it down.
Yeah, they shut down
and-
the main artery of economic. It's like the Wall Street of Puerto Rico. It's
Right.
called the Mile of Gold, and it's basically where all the top banks on the island are.
And it sent such a strong message. It sent a strong message that we are willing and ready to fight for our country, right? For our nation.
I noticed that people's
And-
comments are much more in support than it was before, and I think it's because people have realized. I remember 2 years ago, people were kind of pro the junta, thinking, "Well, finally, somebody's going to come and clean up these politicians," and they don't understand that. As I like to tell a lot of them, corruption is not just a Puerto Rican thing. There's way more corruption here in the United States in many districts. In fact, I was reading an article that said that the top 10 jurisdictions of major corruption in the USA are not in Puerto Rico. It's like places like Detroit and Chicago and other major jurisdictions. So the teachers are over here and the students are on the island, but people thought they were going to come and clean up. And once they've had 2 years of junta policies, which have been everything, again, I keep saying it for our listeners, get the Naomi Klein book, The Shock Doctrine. It's it's the playbook from page 1 to page whatever the end of it. They're following the rule. They're cutting workers' pensions. They're cutting salaries. They're cutting health care. They're cutting vacation and medical leaves and all types of anything that in any way is a people's resources. They're cutting the universities. They've sold 400 schools. They've even sold schools for $1 to Christian private entities so that they can do Christian schools instead of public schools under the charter thing. That's the Betty DeVos strategy, which Miss Kelleher, this Julia Kelleher, was found essentially to be a criminal because she's being investigated for corruption here in the United States for what she did as a Secretary of Education. So they've been applying that in Puerto Rico for the last 2 years, and a lot of the people that were pro-junta, all of a sudden, we don't like this. We hate the junta. They're taking millions of dollars. We should protest. Yeah, we told you that about 2 or 3 years ago. So
I was part of that protest last year, and I have to say to you that it was one of the most proud moments of my time. I didn't go to Puerto Rico to participate in the march. I went on vacation. I needed my culture. I needed my roots. I needed my island, and it just happened to be that
those days you were doing.
Yeah, I was there, and of course I was going to march with my people, and it was such a proud moment. We are going to take back our sovereignty. We are going to take back our country, and we are going to succeed. And that's the energy that I felt while I was there, and that nobody was going to stop us. And I want to put out there before Eliezer comes on is that Puerto Rico has found itself in this predicament previously, of economic oppression, and Puerto Ricans pulled themselves up by the bootstraps and they turned it around. And I have, belief that that's going to happen again without U.S. intervention. That's my faith at this moment. I know many people are out there listening. Waiting for the show and for Eliezer Molina to get on the show. And, some people have already been sending in questions, actually,
Good. We're ready for them.
Yeah. And one individual in particular wanted us to talk about the current status of the junta right now, because as you're aware, recently, not too long ago, the junta was found to be unconstitutional.
And that Trump had to appoint them. But I understood from my last reading of the articles, I could be a little bit late on the game on this, that he hasn't decided to change any of the membership, which surprised me. I when I heard that the junta was unconstitutional, so therefore the new president can appoint the new members, I thought, this is going to be worse.
It'll be a reign of terror, right?
Yeah, because the guys that we have already are pretty much as neoliberal right-wing as they can come. So imagine having Trump appointees, John Bolton's or Mike Pompeo's or Elliot Abrahams in charge of Puerto Rico. Folks, it's a dictatorship. If you don't believe in dictatorship, believe in democracy, what we have in Puerto Rico is a 7 or 9 member, I think it's 9 members, appointed junta of neoliberal upper-class bankers, former politician associated bankers that are essentially structuring the island of Puerto Rico's finances around neoliberal lines. And for those that don't understand what neoliberalism is, read The Shock Doctrine by Naomi Klein. It's basically savage capitalism. It's everything for the bankers in Wall Street, cutting resources for everything else in society, everything, and education, pensions, etc. So I thought to myself, man, if Trump gets to appoint the new members, this is going to be way worse than what we had with Obama appointing the junta.
Yes, and so, there's been a lot of so-called experts, right, even here in the United States, and experts in Puerto Rico to talk about what is it that we need to do as Puerto Ricans on the island and the diaspora to turn this around, right? And so I have to tell you that I haven't really found too many people who have the answers.
People always say that there's no answer, but there is anti-neoliberal programs. The Partido Pueblo Trabajador, the PPT, Rafael Bernabé and Mariana Nogales, who are friends of ours, on the island have proposed very comprehensive steps in terms of dealing with the economic debt. First and foremost, audit the debt. If you go to a restaurant and suddenly they give you a bill of $200 and all you did was eat a hamburger and a Coke, wait a minute, Mr. Waiter, come here for a second. Where's this extra money coming from? That's called an audit. And you figure out what's not there. Oops, we made a mistake. We put in the lobster from the guy next table. Okay, now can you please remove that? That's essentially what they're asking to be done with Puerto Rico. There is a legitimate argument made that there's a lot, possibly 20 to 30 billion of those 70 billion or something like that of national debt that were taken illegally. Therefore, it could be automatically removed. A judge could automatically say the people of Puerto Rico don't have to pay this. We'd be talking about a reduction down to 40 billion. It's a total difference. So it makes a difference. So we have, I think, somebody calling in. Darlene is going to pick up the phone while we keep talking about that.
So yes, I really think that we need to discuss and focus more and answer the question of the economy. How it is that we're going to turn the economy around? Because if not, what's going to happen is that people are going to feel, both on the island and the diaspora, that they need the United States. And I believe this is Eliezer calling in.
Well, you know what? We're going to be discussing those alternatives. When we come back, we're going to hear a song, and then we'll have Eliezer ready to rock and roll. Everybody enjoy. Yo soy Ramon. I am Ramon from Frankfurt, Puerto Rico, 2013.
Toda mi vida en busca de un ideal que es mi estrella. Cuando más cerca le he tenido, verla perderse dentro de una muchedumbre con la insensible. Yo soy Ramón, Emeterio Betances. Yo soy Ramón, Emeterio Betances. Machín estuve en Cuba, cruzando por la Manigua, buscando esa estrella antigua para nuestra libertad. Me fui por rumbos de América, por rutas que trazan ríos, general de mando y hombre, en Cuba con señorío y libertad. Tu esclavo fui, para mi pueblo en Cárdenas, que no importa si me perdí, quiero ver libre a mi tierra. Es plegaria de Ramón, oh, y estelar es la bandera, y estelar es la bandera, y estelar es la bandera, quiero
All right, we have taken a little break there. Hearing Yo Soy Ramon. The song, actually, for those who are listening don't know Spanish, is Ramon Emeterio Betances. It's one of the only few musical songs that we've been able to find that talks about pretty much the father of the country. It's kind of like the George Washington of Puerto Rico. And it was a song created by a very progressive Latin jazz salsa group called Puerto Rico 2013. Back in the 70s, a lot of the musicians in Puerto Rico were doing conscious political music too. And they decided to do a song with, electric guitar, Latin jazz, the drummers, the whole shebang. bang. Some of the best musicians, Giovanni Hidalgo, no olvide, mire, this was a top group in Puerto Rico, who later, actually the same nucleus of that group, was the nucleus of the group de Cali Aurico, one of the best salsa bands that ever came out of Puerto Rico. And the song was called Yo Soy Ramon, I Am Ramon. And it's talking about his travels through the Caribbean, reuniting money and weapons to do a revolution for Cuba, for Puerto Rico, stuff like that. So I thought it was appropriate for today. Right?
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
Talking about Ramone, Emeterios Betances. We have Eliezeres Moninas también on the line. Vamos a ver si no podemos escuchar a Eliezer. Eliezer, ¿estás por ahí?
Estamos por aquí. Saludos.
Hi, how are you? Saludos and welcome to Impacto Cultural. So, this is for people who are hearing and tuning in. This is the very humble and knowledgeable man that we've been talking about who wants to identify himself as a jíbaro from the campo, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And what campo? What pueblo?
Okay. I'm from San Sebastian. Right now, I have a coffee farm in the town of Maricao.
Oh, nice, nice. So, thank you very much for being here, but we are going to uplift you because, we feel that you are doing a lot for Puerto Rico. So we want to let people know that you are a civil engineer, you're a coffee grower, a local entrepreneur, and at the same time, you're a long-term activist, right, for Puerto Rico. And so welcome. The first thing we want to ask you is that we like to ask a lot of people who call in from Puerto Rico is, how's the weather over there?
Well, we are living a hard time in Puerto Rico. And I will talk with you, but in Spanish, because we are use a technique, words that is hard to me to tell everyone that we are going to say to you, because we are living in economic problems. We are slavery.
Okay.
We are slaves, sorry, and I will talk in Spanish, and if you translate
Yes, we can do
my
that.
words, okay,
Podemos
I
hacer
would
eso.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Si me das tiempo, vas diciendo lo tuyo y yo te lo traduzco.
Ok, no hay problema. ¿Por dónde empezamos? ¿Qué quieren saber?
So, lo primero, yo no sé si caíste en cuenta, yo quería saber del tiempo allá en Puerto Rico. ¿Hay sol o no hay sol? Porque me hace falta el sol de Puerto Rico.
Bueno, ahora mismo está parcialmente nublado.
Saying it's kind of cloudy these days.
Ya, parcialmente nublado y alrededor de 85 grados Fahrenheit.
Wow. 85 degrees Fahrenheit.
85 degrees Fahrenheit, yeah, right now.
So, just to let you know, even when, it's like that, when I'm in Puerto Rico, it's always sunny, because I just love being there. So, what you were saying previously is that you were describing the economic circumstances in Puerto Rico as slavery. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
And can you tell us more why you feel that way?
It's not a feeling.
It is.
Is the truth? Yeah, it is. We are slaves because the price that we have to produce any product is more higher than every product that the United States imports to Puerto Rico, and they do that because if we can't produce, we need to import the produce that they are making.
Okay.
And this is a market, exclusive market for consume the product import from the United States.
Okay.
And when we try to produce, the cost of our products will be more higher, but in around 60% more higher than the products that they are going to introduce to Puerto Rico. And they do that to annihilate our national production.
Okay.
This is a crime that took 100 years from now to produce this situation that we are living.
Okay, so you're speaking. Just to clarify to the audience, he's speaking about the Jones Act, the 1917 legal act that forces basically.
No.
You're not talking about the Jones Act?
No. The Jones Act is just an organic law.
Okay.
It's from political law. Jones Act, but they are two Jones Acts.
Si tú quieres, tú puedes hablarlo en español y nosotros te lo traducimos en
Exacto.
inglés,
Sí.
o para que puedas hablar
Bueno,
más libremente.
Pues las leyes de cabotaje solamente son una ley que pasó en el 1920.
He's talking
Para
about the Jones Act occurred in 1920s.
Ya, pero es para utilizar la Marina Américo Mercante. Pero la ley Jones del 1917 es la ley orgánica que impone una ciudadanía sobre los puertorriqueños.
Correcto, dice el error, es verdad, son dos diferentes Jones Acts. He's reminding me that there's two different Jones Acts. There's the one that talks about imposing citizenship in 1917, and then there's the one that forces the use of U.S. mercantile fleets in 1920.
Exacto. En el 1900, Estados Unidos, el Congreso de los Estados Unidos creó una corporación bajo la ley FORA que le pusieron el pueblo de Puerto Rico.
So he says that in 1900, the United States founds a corporation, founding the people or the island of Puerto Rico, or the territory of Puerto Rico, basically a way to organize civilly the government of Puerto Rico under U.S. occupation in 1900.
Y le creó una viabilidad al gobierno insular de emitir deuda pública.
And allowed the insular government there to be able to emit public debt.
Pero solamente los puertorriqueños tenían la autoridad de controlar los recaudos internos de la isla.
But the Puerto Ricans can only control the internal, resources, anything that they were able to get, in taxes internally.
Nos limitó a emitir deuda solamente a Wall Street.
It only allowed Wall Street to be able to emit debt.
Y nos impidió integrarnos al mercado mundial.
And it did not allow us, it impeded us to be able to enter or to commerce and to the international markets.
Cuando eso ocurre, entonces los productos para importar en Puerto Rico para producir resultan en un costo mucho más elevado.
Because of this situation, the products that are made in Puerto Rico cost more. They're elevated. It elevates their cost.
It's inflation, right? Is it inflation or no?
Yeah, it's an inflation because we need to produce with the same moneda, the same dollar,
coin, the same dollar.
but in a higher cost. It's more cheaper.
Okay.
And this is inflation.
So what you're saying is that no matter how much we work, we'll never be able to supersede that particular barrier.
Exactly.
That always will make our products more costly than, say, a product from the Dominican Republic or from Panama or from another country.
Exacto, porque no controlamos las variables económicas.
Because we do not control the economic variables. Without independence or sovereignty, we can't control the economic variables, and we'll always be at the disadvantage with pretty much every other country in the world markets.
So when you're talking about slavery, Eliezer, we're slaves. Puerto Ricans on the island are slaves because they're working the product, they're producing the product, it gets sold, exported out to other countries, right, for profit, and we don't benefit from it at all. That's what you're saying.
Exacto.
Exactly.
Y inclusive, al no poder producir, obligaron a que el puertorriqueño tuviese que emigrar, y el que se quede va a convertirse en un empleado de las grandes corporaciones que se asientan en Puerto Rico por ser un paraíso fiscal.
So basically, because they can't produce, a part of Puerto Ricans are being forced essentially to migrate to the U.S., and the other part that's staying on the island becomes essentially kind of a servant class for the top capital, U.S. capital strong corporations that come essentially to establish themselves in Puerto Rico because of the fiscal paradise, the tax laws, and the other benefits that they get from establishing themselves in Puerto Rico.
Eliezer, let me ask you a question. Can you identify what some of those large corporations are right now that are in Puerto Rico? I think, the American public needs to know.
Yeah.
Exactly. Walmart, Walgreens, Costco, Sam's Club, you name it.
McDonald's, CVS.
The same corporations that you have in the United States are the same corporations that produce in Puerto Rico, but not for our country. They took our money and put it in the other day in the account, en las cuentas de banco de los extranjeros.
And the foreign bank accounts, basically, they make their money in Puerto Rico and they extract, I don't know, somewhere around $40 or $50 billion a year from Puerto Rico, but that doesn't.
Nosotros no podemos ponerle contribuciones porque no controlamos esa variable al ser una colonia.
And because we're a colony, we can't put any type of tax laws making sure that some of the profit that's generated on the island of Puerto Rico stays in Puerto Rico, because we don't we don't control the economic variables.
So what do you suggest?
Fondos federales.
Sí,
Nosotros no necesitamos fondos federales, lo que necesitamos son las leyes soberanas para poder controlar y desarrollar nuestra economía, no fondos
so
federales.
what he's saying is we should go away from the federal dependence type of structure that we've had for the last 30, 40 years, where Puerto Rico receives somewhere around $50 billion in federal transferences, types of things, Social Security, welfare, food stamps, you name it. And instead of that, we don't need those $15 million. What we need is the sovereign laws that allows us to tax that profit that's coming from American corporations and keep it within the island.
So,
Annually, they took around $50 billion from our economy.
Okay.
so what do you suggest, Eliezer? This is the question of the day, right? For Puerto Ricans, like, what are we going to do? What's going to happen with Puerto Rico right now?
Okay.
What if the United States decides that they don't want to let go of the island, right? They want to maintain it as a colony, as a territory. What do we do in the interim?
Okay, we don't need that the United States. Nosotros no necesitamos que los Estados Unidos sean nuestros jefes.
We don't need the United States to be our bosses.
Nosotros necesitamos ser plenamente soberanos para integrarnos al mundo,
We need to be completely sovereign so we can integrate to the world.
incluyendo porque ya tenemos la infraestructura y el recurso humano diestro para entrar en esa competitividad de tú a tú con cualquier lugar en el mundo.
Because we already possess the human resources and the infrastructure to be able to compete one-on-one with any of the other nations of the world.
Pero si no controlamos el aeropuerto,
But if we
si
don't
no controlamos las carreteras, si no controlamos nada en Puerto Rico, si los Estados Unidos pisan aquí y no pagan contribuciones, ¿cómo nosotros vamos a poder echar hacia adelante cuando nos roban el dinero y nos impiden a nosotros defender nuestra industria nacional?
So how can we, if we don't even control the airports, the road, if the United States controls everything on the island of Puerto Rico, how are we able to be able to compete if we can't even control our resources, the way to structure our society?
And that the U.S. doesn't contribute anything. Pero déjame hacerte esta pregunta, Eliezer, ¿ok?
Okay.
Yo los últimos 2 años he ido a uno, ¿verdad? The United Nations para hablar sobre el caso de Puerto Rico. ¿Cómo es que usted recomienda o sugiere que vamos a hacer una isla soberana?
Nosotros necesitamos hacer una asamblea constituyente
We need to do a
De
constituent
pueblo.
assembly of the people,
utilizando las herramientas que el derecho internacional así le brindó a la comunidad internacional para liberar a las colonias.
We should use the laws and the principles that the international community gives colonies to be able to free themselves.
Nosotros no tenemos que pedirle permiso a nadie para hacer eso, incluyendo a los Estados Unidos,
We don't even have to ask permission of anyone, including the United States, to do that,
porque es nuestro derecho.
because it's our right.
Y es lo que tenemos que hacer. Ya basta de estar esperando la buena voluntad de los Estados Unidos, porque ellos vienen aquí a generar dinero y no van a permitir que los puertorriqueños, porque ellos quieran, le quiten ese paraíso fiscal.
We shouldn't have to wait for the United States anymore because we don't have to wait for them. They're only here to be able to extract the resources they can from the island of Puerto Rico, and they're not here to develop us.
So, déjame hacerte otra pregunta, Eliezer. ¿Existe un movimiento de eso en la isla para, conseguir la soberanía de Puerto Rico?
Claro que sí. Lo que sucede es que por muchos años han estado silentes porque estamos secuestrados con una política partidista.
We haven't been able to unify on this because we've been kidnapped by a bipartisan battle.
Well, I think he said,
Incluyendo los independentistas en su mayoría no votan en las elecciones.
Including the independence proponents, they don't even participate in the process.
I think what's even more important that he stated was that they're silenced. They feel silenced. They feel like they don't have a voice. Ustedes sienten como que no tienen una voz. ¿Estoy correcta?
Pues sí la tenemos. Lo que no tenemos es los medios, porque en Puerto Rico los medios están comprados por el gran capital y tratan de manipular con la opinión publicada lo que es la opinión pública.
The press in Puerto Rico is pretty much owned by the bourgeoisie, the upper classes, which basically do pieces to manipulate the public perception of things.
So
Tan es así, rapidito, tan es así que cuando pasó el huracán María, en Puerto Rico teníamos a Donald Trump y a CNN. Todo nuestro sufrimiento se convirtió en una politiquería del Partido Republicano y del Partido Demócrata, uno fiscalizando al otro, y a ninguno le importó el sufrimiento de los puertorriqueños.
He's basically saying that it's so bad that when the situation happened with the Hurricane Maria, it became an issue of, in the public persona, the public image, a battle between Republicans and Democrats regarding who was to blame, and nobody really cared about the suffering of the Puerto Rican people.
Fíjate, cuando yo fui a ONU el año pasado y hablé sobre esta situación, yo también describí la situación de esa manera. I described it that way. And what I called it was they were using Puerto Rico using Puerto Rico as a political football, right? Una bola that was
That's
going
right.
back, that was going back and forth here, and they weren't really thinking about the victims in Puerto Rico and the people in Puerto Rico. They were just thinking about who was going to win this game. So you're absolutely correct, Eliezer. So you have so many good points, right? People, I would say, if you're listening to the show, is because you agree with some of these political commentaries and statements that are being made by Eliezer. So the question is, what would you suggest? I mean, so you're suggesting that Puerto Rico regain its sovereignty, but again, what are we suggesting as far as turning the economy around, improving it?
Próximamente
Soon,
le vamos a presentar al pueblo un modelo político y económico para Puerto Rico que esté fundamentado en el bienestar social y no en la rentabilidad del capital financiero ni de las grandes corporaciones de los Estados Unidos.
we're soon to present a political and economic model for the island of Puerto Rico that focuses on the needs of the people and social justice rather than the profits of U.S. capital and corporations.
Donde ese modelo nos brinde la capacidad de controlar las variables económicas,
That model will allow us to control the economic variables,
nos integra a la economía mundial
will integrate us to the world economy,
y nos brinde la plena soberanía
and will
para
give
que
us,
los puertorriqueños comiencen a gobernarse por primera vez a sí mismos.
and will be able to give us full sovereignty so Puerto Ricans can, for the first time, be able to govern themselves.
Y si los Estados Unidos quieren venir aquí a generar dinero,
And if the United States wants to come to Puerto Rico to generate money,
van a tener que pagar contribución.
they're going to have to pay taxes.
Absolutely. So, can you give us a little bit of insight, Eliezer? Dejarnos saber un poquito lo que hay en el plan.
Muy pronto.
He says, he says, soon I'll let you guys know. But that's good. Eliezer, I'm glad that perdona, I'm going to say it in Spanish first and then I'll translate for everybody. Eliezer, qué bueno que están haciendo diferentes, ¿cómo se llama? Iniciativas. ¿Qué piensas de las propuestas que está discutiendo si te gusta o no te gusta el MBC después que hicieron su presentación en el Teatro Tapia?
Bueno, yo leí el plan de gobierno.
I heard the program of government of the newly formed movement for citizenship, citizen victory that's forming in Puerto Rico,
And they are out of focus.
and they're not focused.
No,
Uh-huh.
it's the same PPD.
So
It's the same PPD with other name because they approved the colonialism because they said that the colonialism is not an issue.
okay.
And the colonialism is what took the power of our people y impide totalmente de que desarrollemos nuestra economía.
So he's saying they're out of focus because without sovereignty to be able to control the economic variables, we can't get out of this hole.
No tienen modelo económico
They don't have an economic model,
y le dicen a las personas
and they're
que
telling
van
people
a hacer una auditoría ciudadana
that they're going to do a citizen audit
para negociar ellos la deuda
to be able to negotiate the debt,
cuando no tienen poder soberano para ir sobre la decisión del Tribunal Federal de los Estados Unidos.
when they don't even have the sovereign right or ability to be able to go over the Supreme Court decisions of the USA.
Y eso es politiquería
And that's just, fake politics.
porque simplemente quieren decirle a la gente lo que quiere oír sin atacar a raíz del problema, que es el colonialismo.
Because they just want to tell people something that's sweet to their ears, something that'll give them some kind of idea of resistance without really attacking the main issue, which is colonialism.
Y eso ocurre porque es la clase elitista de siempre que trata de secuestrar la política puertorriqueña.
And because it's always the same thing. This is an elite class trying to essentially take over the what do you call it, the legitimate angst of the people.
Dirigida por los abogados y no por el pueblo.
And it's directed by the lawyers, not by the people.
So, ¿cuál va a ser la transformación política de Puerto Rico? ¿Qué
Ese-
tú sugieres?
la transformación política para Puerto Rico tiene que ir dirigida a lo que es la naturaleza del ser humano y de la vida, que es su libertad.
It has to be the focus of the struggle for Puerto Rico has to be directed to what is human nature, the liberty or the freedom of the human being.
Exacto, sin ningún tipo de atadura, donde los puertorriqueños puedan integrarse al mundo y quien quiera lucrarse de los recursos de Puerto Rico tenga que pagar contribuciones y que el bienestar social sea el primer punto y no el segundo detrás de la rentabilidad del capital financiero.
Yeah, he's basically arguing that sovereignty has to happen so we have freedom. Freedom so we can control the economic variables, so we can integrate ourselves to the world economy and structure that economy with the main focus, the prime focus being the social justice, and that has to be the prime focus.
Por ejemplo, si la compañía de pollos Tyson quiere vender pollos Tyson en Puerto Rico, que los produzca en Puerto Rico.
If the Tyson company of meats and chicken wants to be able to produce, they have to come and bring a factory to the island of Puerto Rico and produce it there.
Eso es uno de los ejemplos.
That's an example.
Otro ejemplo es que los Estados Unidos utilizan nuestros puertos para importar su material de consumo desde Brasil
Another
y no
example
pagan contribuciones.
is they use already our ports to import materials from Brazil that later, go, they're consumption products that go out to the United States, but they don't pay taxes. Well, they should be paying taxes at the ports.
Desde ese momento van a tener que pagar taxes.
From that moment on, they're gonna have to pay taxes.
Y ahí van a aumentar los recaudos de los puertorriqueños y nuestro producto nacional va a comenzar a aflorar porque le vamos a poner unos impuestos a los productos importados que van a aniquilar los productos nacionales.
So basically, those taxes are not only going to bring us resources for the island, they will also make the products from the outside a little bit more expensive, which will stimulate a national economy of products developed on the island of Puerto Rico.
Y el modelo va a estar balanceado
And the model will be balanced.
va a estar balanceado en desarrollar nuestra producción nacional y eliminar la dependencia,
And it's going to be designed to develop our national product and eliminate dependence,
asegurando nuestro consumo doméstico
assuring our domestic consumption,
y de esa manera impidiendo en que la inflación del mundo afecte a los puertorriqueños.
and in that way we protect Puerto Rico from the inflation of the world affecting the people of Puerto Rico.
Ahí estamos.
So, Eliezer, déjame hacerte otra pregunta, porque, aquí tienen una narrativa falsa en los Estados Unidos, yo pienso que es falso, que la mayoría de los latinos, los boricuas en Puerto Rico, ellos quieren que Puerto Rico sea el 51 estado. ¿Qué tú piensas de eso?
50, pero con Washington DC 51.
51.
Yo creo que... No, 51st
no lo
You're right.
Who you stop correcting me.
Listen, I thought it was the 52. I thought you said 52.
Voy a hablar de
51.
nuestra realidad. Voy a
Okay.
hablar de nuestra realidad, no de
Okay.
mi pensamiento. La realidad es que la situación crítica en la cual se encuentra Puerto Rico hoy día es producto de la mayoría.
You're saying the reality in Puerto Rico is that the critical situation that Puerto Rico is suffering right now, it's a product of the majority of the people of Puerto Rico.
Así que la mayoría fracasó
The majority
Yes.
failed,
y es momento de dar paso a las nuevas ideas que utilizamos a través de la ciencia y no del fanatismo.
and therefore it's time to get ideas that come through science and not fanatism, the new ideas.
Eso es así.
So, usted dice que hay un movimiento bastante grande en Puerto Rico que quieren independencia para Puerto Rico.
Mira, mi propia página de Facebook así lo evidencia.
My own Facebook page proves it.
Tú puedes ver los números y vas a ver cómo las personas comienzan a identificarse porque lo hacemos fuera de líneas partidistas y fuera de fanatismo ideológico. Lo estamos haciendo con los números.
The trick here is that they're aligning to new independence ideas because we're doing it out of the party lines. We're doing it through new ideas, and they're resonating with them.
Muchas veces utilizamos ejemplos de los productos en la góndola del supermercado, donde le damos una comparativa de precios entre el producto nacional y el producto importado. Y le hacemos un análisis numérico para que puedan entender cómo se le resta competitividad al producto puertorriqueño por culpa de nuestra situación política.
We basically do a comparison, some bread and butter comparison, so they can understand about products that they get in their store aisles, showing the difference in price between U.S. products and Puerto Rico products and how we're losing competitiveness in the current structure.
Eso es así.
Y tú sabes, una de las cosas que me molesta mucho, porque yo soy bien cafetera, a mí me gusta el café.
Ujú.
Y tú sabes, me gusta Bustelo, pero el Bustelo está carito, ¿verdad? Y te apuesto que allá en Puerto Rico el Bustelo está hasta más caro. So, tratando de ahorrar un billete, los otros días me compré un cafecito en Dollar Tree, de todos los sitios, ¿verdad? A peso, que se llama El Morro. Y yo misma me decía, pero ¿de dónde salió este café? ¿Verdad? ¿Salió de la isla o no salió de la isla? ¿Qué es lo que está sucediendo, tú sabes, con algunos de los productos de nosotros que están, supuestamente, que están hechos en la isla?
No, en Puerto Rico ya no existe industria del café.
Ok.
En Puerto Rico no existe industria del café. El café que se vende en Puerto Rico viene importado de México.
Entonces
El café que se-
el morro entonces es mexicano.
Exacto, el café que se produce en Puerto Rico, la Coca-Cola logró comprar las grandes plantaciones y lo exporta hacia Europa y hacia los Estados Unidos. El café de Puerto Rico se exporta y el que se consume en Puerto Rico se importa de México.
So, y la razón por qué hago la pregunta es que una, yo sé que usted está creciendo café, ¿verdad? O
Ujú,
de tu parte
sí, sí.
es una. Pero segunda, uno de los comentarios que se hace mucho aquí es que cómo es que la isla va a sobrevivir si no tienen muchos productos que salen de la isla. ¿Cuál es tu respuesta de eso?
Lo que sucede es que el mundo cambió y Puerto Rico tiene una infraestructura donde puede ubicarse estratégicamente a través de la ciencia, la alta tecnología, productos como el café, farináceos, cítricos, productos que geográficamente Estados Unidos está imposibilitado de producir por condiciones de clima, pero los puertorriqueños por clima lo podemos hacer, por infraestructura lo podemos hacer y por el talento que tenemos dentro de nuestro recurso humano también lo podemos hacer.
Okay,
Pero
déjame ver si puedo traducir eso. So the question was, how can Puerto Rico be able to develop an economy? Because a lot of people feel that Puerto Rico doesn't have enough products. It only has coffee or something like to be able to do. How will it insert itself in the world? And then Eliezer responds, the thing is the world has changed through science, through high technology, through the infrastructure and the human resources and education, an educated workforce that Puerto Rico already has. They can already develop certain products that because of the climate in the United States can't produce them. Therefore, Puerto Rico can be strategically placed to be that conduit of products, not only from Puerto Rico, but from in the region because of its strategic placement. Eso, tú estás básicamente diciendo que Puerto Rico puede ser como un Singapur del Caribe.
Pues por supuesto, lo único que simplemente la estrategia debe ir basada en nuestras grandes capacidades de producción y contemplando nuestras debilidades también.
So he's saying, of course, we can be like the Singapore of the Caribbean. Singapore, for those that don't know, it's a small island in Asia, but it's the transit point, the marketplace transit point between China, Australia, Indonesia, South Korea, Japan, Russia, and a lot of other really important economies. And every time some products go through Singapore, they make taxes on the ports and the production that happens there. Puerto Rico essentially can do the same thing with all the other sovereign countries in the area: Mexico, Costa Rica, Panamá, Brasil.
Singapur utiliza el petróleo. Nosotros podemos utilizar el agua dulce.
Singapore uses petroleum. We can use sweet water. ¿Cómo que agua dulce?
Lo que sucede es que el agua dulce escasea en el mundo y en Puerto Rico abunda para satisfacer nuestro consumo doméstico y tenemos la capacidad de exportarlo. Pero por nuestra condición política no podemos.
Okay, so he's saying that, Puerto Rico has an abundance of sweet water, meaning non-salt water, that it can export to other areas of the world that are having water scarcity, and because of the lack of sovereign powers, we can't trade with other countries that may need that water, and we can be producing that water for them.
Ocurre lo mismo con la energía. Por eso a nosotros los puertorriqueños nos imponen los métodos de generación de energía y primero nos llevaron al petróleo, luego al carbón, y ahora al gas natural para que tengamos que comprárselo a los Estados Unidos porque nosotros no lo producimos.
The same thing happens with Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is capable of being able to generate its own energy because of its climate. and other resources, but we've always had imposed first, I believe it was petroleum, then he said coal, and now natural gas, because that means that we would have to export those resources from the United States to be able to generate our energy, and we could be doing it with products from the island.
Déjame
Pero si
hacerte...
podemos producir la energía
But
con
if-
nuestras fuentes renovables, tenemos la capacidad de exportar utilizando la fibra óptica el excedente de energía y venderlo a los demás países en el Caribe, pero nuestra condición política también lo impide.
Y esa fue mi pregunta, bien rapidito. La pregunta es que si hay evidencia de esas cosas, si están sucediendo en el momento. Rosselló no hace mucho, él firmó un plan, ¿verdad?, que se llama el Green New Deal de Puerto Rico, supuestamente.
Con gas natural.
Ajá.
Yeah, so, se están viendo esos cambios, hay evidencia de eso. Estamos produciendo productos en Puerto Rico, se están cambiando el uso de energía.
No, se está transformando porque el tiempo de vida útil del carbón era por 10 años. Al acabarse el tiempo de vida útil, entra el mercado del gas natural ahora y van a gasificar a Puerto Rico.
What they're going to do is basically the market duration of coal would have been 10 years, but now what they're doing a transition to completely gasify Puerto Rico. Natural gas is the development of generation of
Y
energy.
y es hacia el gas natural porque es lo que produce los Estados Unidos y alguien se lo tiene que comprar, y para eso están los puertorriqueños, para consumir el producto de los Estados Unidos.
The United States is doing their own sovereign thing. They're developing their own resources, which is natural gas, and somebody's got to buy the natural gas so they can make a profit. And we are the captive consuming people that can do that for them. So that's why they're switching over everything to natural gas. Pero esto no es nuevo. Esto viene desde los tiempos de gasoducto también, ¿verdad?
Eso siempre ha sido así porque se transformaba el mercado. El mercado no se transforma de un día para otro. Llevan décadas tratando de imponer el nuevo modelo del gas natural y ya llegaron.
Exactly. What we've been discussing, me and Eliezer in Spanish, is that these ideas of trying to switch Puerto Rico to natural gas had been a decade. There was a long debate of the gasoduct thing to be able to bring natural gas from the United States to Puerto Rico, and they've been trying for many years, and now they're making it happen.
Así que le pueden decir a la comunidad de a nosotros allá que no es para la guerra que quieren a los puertorriqueños, es para que consuman el producto importado de los Estados Unidos.
They don't want Puerto Ricans for war anymore. What they wanted Puerto Ricans to be able to consume their products.
Right, so es como que se están beneficiando de los boricuas aquí en los Estados Unidos y en la isla. Pero déjame hacerte otra pregunta, porque tengo tantas, Eliezer, y yo no sé si las vamos a contestar todas en 2 horas. Pero ¿no existe un producto de Puerto Rico? Un producto principal o 2 o 3 productos principales. ¿Cómo es que la isla sobrevive?
Ok, lo que sucede es, bueno, Puerto Rico exporta, por ejemplo, el mercado número 1 de exportación en Puerto Rico son los fármacos.
So the biggest exportation out of Puerto Rico is pharmaceutical products.
Pero esos fármacos son de licencias de los Estados Unidos.
But they operate under licenses of the United States.
Así que utilizan nuestras manos,
They use our labor,
utilizan nuestra mente, nuestra infraestructura,
our minds and infrastructure,
y luego de que generan el dinero, los repatrian hacia los Estados Unidos.
and once they've generated the profit, then they repatriate the profits to the United States.
Y todo eso sin pagar contribuciones y con un mantengo corporativo que le brinda el sistema.
And all of that without any taxes and a corporate welfare that the system gives them.
Eso tiene que acabar y tiene que comenzar a pasar a manos puertorriqueñas.
That has to completely stop, and the repatriation of profits have to start ending up in the hands of Puerto Ricans.
Pero antes que eso suceda, ¿verdad? ¿No hay algunos obstáculos que se tienen que tumbar antes de que podamos llegar al punto donde Puerto Rico se beneficia del mismo producto de ellos?
No hay manera de nosotros poder desarrollar nuestra economía porque tenemos las manos atadas.
So he's saying he asked, is there any obstacles or things that we have to remove out of the way so in order for that money to get to our hands? And Eliezer responds, no, there's no way we can do anything. We have our hands tied because we don't have the colonial straitjacket, la camisa de fuerza del colonialismo. The colonial straitjacket doesn't allow us to do it.
Y por eso los puertorriqueños están abandonando la isla y los americanos la están comprando.
And that's why Puerto Ricans are abandoning the island to Florida and to Texas and to other places, and certain North Americans are starting to come over here and buying it up.
Y tú sabes, de nuevo, cuando visité a Puerto Rico un año atrás, yo me recuerdo que también estuve buscando a ver si conseguía una propiedad bastante barata. Yo misma me decía, antes que venga un americano a comprarlo, déjame comprarlo yo, ¿verdad? Pero la verdad es que hay muchos foreclosures que han sucedido, ¿verdad? En Puerto Rico, y no hace mucho vi un video en YouTube de dos americanos que fueron jovencitos ellos, que fueron allá a Puerto Rico, hicieron un video recomendándole a los americanos y las personas acá en Puerto Rico que vayan a Puerto Rico y que compren propiedad allá porque es muy barato.
Lo están haciendo en nuestras narices porque los puertorriqueños así lo han permitido, producto de la mayoría.
And they're basically saying they're doing it right in front of us, in front of our noses, because the majority of Puerto Ricans are pretty much allowing it to happen.
So, la preocupación es gentrification. ¿Tú entiendes esa palabra, Eliezer?
Claro que sí.
So, ¿usted piensa que esto está sucediendo en el momento en Puerto Rico?
Sucede en mi casa, a mi lado. En mi casa nos vinieron a comprar a todos los puertorriqueños que vivimos aquí para que abandonaran nuestras casas y que se hiciera un asentamiento de inversionistas que venían de Wall Street y de Boca de Ratón. Eso pasó en mis ojos y a mí mismo me ofrecieron comprar mi casa.
They've been doing this gentrification thing in Puerto Rico for a long time. They even did it in my house. They did it around, they wanted to buy out all the neighbors in my house in order to be able to do a project there, and they wanted to do it in my house.
Tan es así que en Dorado ya los puertorriqueños no pueden ir a la playa porque está totalmente reservado para las grandes cadenas hoteleras y a los grandes multimillonarios que se establecen aquí.
It's so bad that even in the Dorado Beach, the Puerto Ricans can't even use the beach anymore because it's reserved for the great hotel industry properties and desires there.
Yo te voy a decir que esa es una de las situaciones que yo encuentro bien triste de Puerto Rico, que están vendiendo las playas. ¿Cómo tú sugieres parar esa situación?
Detenerlo.
De pararlo, porque eso es algo bien triste. Tú sabes, la isla de nosotros son recursos naturales, es una belleza que tenemos que mantenerla.
Por eso es que nuestro modelo político tiene que cambiar.
That's why our political model has to change. If we want to protect our beaches, our political model has to change.
Nuestro modelo político simplemente vela la rentabilidad del capital financiero y no el bienestar social de los puertorriqueños.
Our current political system only focuses on the profitable nature or profitable environment for U.S. capital, and it has to change. It has to be one focused on social justice for the people of Puerto Rico.
Estas personas se apropian de esas propiedades.
And these people take over these properties.
Porque la corrupción gubernamental les facilita los permisos.
Because the corruption in the Puerto Rican actual model facilitates the permits for that.
Porque la corrupción política en Puerto Rico los exime de contribuciones.
Because it frees them from having to have to pay any taxes.
Y porque la ley Jones del 1917 es la verdadera constitución en Puerto Rico que los protege a los inversionistas americanos para que lo puedan hacer.
Because the 1917 Jones Act is really the true constitution of Puerto Rico, and it allows U.S. investment people to be able to do it.
Existe un movimiento en el momento de eliminar el Jones Act, porque yo he leído mucho de eso y todo el mundo lo recomienda, pero no sé si existe algo, ¿verdad?, concreto de eliminar eso.
¿Quién tiene el control sobre la ley Jones en Puerto Rico? El Congreso.
The Congress of the United States is the one that has control over the Jones Act in Puerto Rico.
Y el Congreso impone eso sobre sus territorios y sobre sus estados.
And the Congress imposes that over the its territories and some states.
Y déjame
Así que
hacerte
ningún partido político en Puerto Rico tiene poder jurídico para eliminar la ley Jones.
No political party on the island of Puerto Rico has juridical power to be able to eliminate the Jones Act.
No tienen el poder, pero no hay un movimiento, tú sabes, en el sentido de pedirle al Congreso.
No hay que pedir, hay que imponer nuestra voluntad.
Exacto.
Y para eso es que Puerto Rico necesita la independencia y ser libre para poder integrarnos al mundo.
We don't have to ask or beg. We need to impose our will on the situation. That's why Puerto Rico needs the independence and sovereignty so we can integrate ourselves to the world.
So, mi pregunta es porque si Rosselló sabe y Jennifer González saben que esta situación existe, que Puerto Rico no puede superarse, ¿verdad? Y no puede progresar por el Jones Act, ¿por qué ellos mismos no han pedido que tumben esta ley?
porque ellos saben que es imposible, pero no solamente ellos, también Carmen Yulín dice lo mismo y el nuevo partido dice lo mismo. Todos utilizan lo mismo para poder engañar a los puertorriqueños.
So all the political parties are pretty much the same thing because they know full well it's impossible. They do it to fool the people of Puerto Rico. Even Carmen Yulín does it. Even the new MFSA movement does it. None of them are talking that the independence is necessary.
Antes que
Quiero
vaya...
aclarar esto, quiero aclarar esto rapidito
Ajá.
y quiero que se lo digan a la gente.
Okay.
Si en Puerto Rico no quieren las leyes de cabotaje,
If in Puerto Rico they don't want the cabotage laws,
si en Puerto Rico no quieren las leyes de comercio interestatal,
if they don't want the laws of interstellar commerce,
si en Puerto Rico no quieren la Junta de Control Fiscal,
if they don't want the fiscal junta in Puerto Rico,
sepan que solamente la independencia le brinda ese poder a los puertorriqueños para que eso no nos ocurra y no se nos imponga lo que otro país desea.
only independence is going to be able to protect us from that and allow us to never have that be imposed by a foreign country.
So, ayer alguien me hizo la pregunta, ¿verdad? Que si Eliezer está interesado en correr para oficina política.
Are you,
Oficina política.
the
Sí.
question is he interested in running into for a political office of some sort?
Oficina política, no entiendo
No
eso.
entiendo
eh,
que aquí se llama oficina política.
No, political
Puesto.
office, es que es una traducción mala.
Sí.
Political office es decir, ¿cómo se llama? Candidatura a alguna posición política.
Un puesto,
Un
sí.
puesto político, exacto.
Y no lo tiene
ok.
no lo tiene que contestar en el momento porque vamos a ir a un break. Pero
no-
quería abrir la puerta,
Ok.
ya tú sabes.
We're going to break. He's going to answer whether or not he's interested in any type of political office. We're going to be hearing a song from the record 1898 con una sola me basta, es decir, una sola estrella. Vamos a break. Bye bye.
Ok.
Hay un solo Puerto Rico, hay un solo Puerto Rico, bello terruño que adoro, incomparable tesoro, bello es donde radico. Por eso no justifico al que de forma nefasta. Nuestro orgullo nos aplasta, pidiendo 50 estrellas y para ver nuestras huellas con una sola nos basta. Con una sola nos basta. Tenemos una cultura, una historia y una herencia, una vida, una existencia y solo una noche oscura. Una jíbara figura, una fe que no se gasta. Y tenemos con su asta una preciosa bandera que no quiere compañera, con una sola nos basta. Con una sola nos basta. Tenemos solo un patriota que lucha contra el traidor y contra ese invasor que a mi Puerto Rico explota. Y de sangre ni una gota nuestro patriota malgasta. Y como es sangre de casta, siempre se niega a morir y para poder vivir con una sola nos basta. Con una sola nos basta. En mi suelo borincano, solo en mi raza soy sola no basta. Con una sola no basta.
Do you love Latin music? Then check out Ritmo Latino. Tune in to WXOJ on Sunday evenings from 6 to 7 p.m. I'm your host, Kat, and I'll be playing a mix of styles from around the world, old school to new. Listen for local talent and upcoming events in the Latino community. So finish out your weekend with Latin style. Ritmo Latino, Sundays, 6 to 7 p.m. here on WXOJLP 103.3 FM.
My name is Ruth Rusi. I volunteer with United Way, reading to children to help prepare them for a better academic future. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Soy Brenda Liz Cepeda.
Y yo, Saúl El Pulpo Peñalosa.
And you are listening to
Impacto Cultural.
On WXOJLP 103.3 FM, Northampton Valley Free Radio.
Aha, Impacto Cultural, we're back.
Hola, hola, mi gente. If you haven't been listening to Valley Free Radio, Impacto Cultural is in the house right now with your co-host, Darlene Elias.
And René González.
Yes, and we have on the phone our interview this morning is with Eliezer Molina from Puerto Rico. He is a local entrepreneur. He's a civil engineer. He's an activist. And he's here this morning talking with us. We had a wonderful conversation in the past hour about Puerto Rico and how to change its trajectory. How can the economy of Puerto Rico turn around and how we can gain independence. So, Eliezer, are you there?
Yeah.
How are you? Welcome back.
Thank you.
Wow, that hour that went by so quickly, ¿verdad? Se fue tan rápido. Podemos hablar todo el día en este asunto de Puerto Rico, ¿verdad? So before we went to break, we had asked Eliezer about running for political office, and we were joking behind the scenes because my translation to that was Oficina de Política.
Can I make fun of you?
Yes, you can.
Everywhere we go, anywhere. Hey, how you doing, Oficina Política?
That's my Spanglish going on, right? So I'm a New York Rican, Boricua transplant here in the United States. But anyway, so many people want to know because, as I stated to you, Eliezer, you're really getting popular, both here in the United States and Puerto Rico. People are really kind of, feeling what you're saying, and it's resonating with them. They're understanding, and they feel like you are really about the people and the movement, and it's coming from the ground up as opposed to the other way around. So what do you have to say about that? People are not happy with Rosello right now. People are not even happy with Jolene, So what do you have to say about politics right now?
Okay, at this time, we are only educating our people because we have a big problem, and we need that our people understand the truth of our issue, our problem, because if they don't understand, they can't make the right decisions to change this political problem that we have. And maybe in the future, we make an announcement with that direction. But right now, we are educating our people.
And Eliezer, that is such a really important thing because I don't know if you know Gualterio Alomar, right? He had done this video recently about colonization is extinction, and it received a lot of good reviews, including from HBO. And his purpose for doing that video is to educate the public. And we find that here in the United States, Puerto Ricans, people, whether they're the diaspora, whether they were born here in the United States, the second, third, fourth generation, they really don't understand the political status of Puerto Rico and the economic status of Puerto Rico. They just don't get it. And so education is so important, and this is one of the reasons why we're doing this show today. So with that being said, let us know cómo se puede desarrollar la economía de Puerto Rico. ¿Cuál es el plan? I still want to know about that model that you have, like you're fixing up here.
Okay, we need to reduce the cost of making products in Puerto Rico. We need to down our prices to compete in the same manner with the products import from the United States of everywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. And we need to prepare our national production to compete. Así que si nosotros hacemos que nuestro producto sea competitivo, reducimos las importaciones y poco a poco vamos acabando con el juego que los Estados Unidos imponen sobre Puerto Rico.
If we can reduce the cost of our products and we are able to become competitive, we can start slowly but surely stopping the game of the United States of having to import their products.
Así que hay que brindarle las herramientas a nuestros productores nacionales y quitar el mantengo corporativo de las multinacionales y ese dinero redirigirlo hacia los puertorriqueños para que comiencen a ser independientes.
We have to be able to give the weapons or the instruments of work tools to the working class in Puerto Rico so that they can start producing, taking away from the United States. La última parte que era?
Para que puedan hacer autosuficientes.
So they could be self-sufficient.
Self-sustaining.
Self-sustaining, that's right.
So, sigue, por favor.
Okay, en la medida en que los puertorriqueños comiencen a aumentar la producción nacional,
as Puerto Ricans start increasing their national product,
aumenta el capital de los puertorriqueños a través del Producto Nacional Bruto.
The GDP, I guess, is the GDP will start growing. The capital, the Puerto Rican capital.
Y se reducen las fugas de capitales de las grandes corporaciones.
And we can reduce the fleeing of capital of the great corporations.
Cuando eso ocurre, el Estado comienza a tener mayores ganancias.
When that happens, the state will start having bigger dividends or bigger profits.
Le va a dar ese capital para pagar el gasto social.
We're going to be able to use that capital that we generate to pay the social costs.
Que es lo que cuestan los servicios como la salud, la educación, la seguridad.
Like security, education, and healthcare of the people.
Y se reduce la necesidad de emitir deuda pública porque el dinero comienza a quedarse en nuestra economía.
And we start ending the process that we've been doing for a long time, which is to essentially emit debt or to grow the debt for Puerto Rico to be able to pay for these things because the capital that we're generating will pay for these services.
Cuando eso ocurra, la rentabilidad de los Estados Unidos sobre Puerto Rico se va a reducir.
When that happens, the profitable environment for the United States will be reduced.
Y en ese momento va a haber un cambio de estatus.
And when that happens, there's going to be a change in status.
Porque ya no lo es costo eficiente mantener una colonia en el Caribe que no necesita consumir sus productos.
Because it won't be cost effective for the United States to maintain a colony in the Caribbean that will not consume its products.
Hacia esa es la dirección que debemos ir, porque si no, vamos a perder la isla en los próximos 5 años.
If we do not go through that direction, if we don't focus our attention there, we're going to lose our island in the next 5 years.
Así que tenemos que comenzar a reactivar nuestra agricultura.
We need to start our agricultural industry again, reactivate it.
Nuestro turismo.
Our tourism.
Reducir la inflación.
Reduce inflation.
Comenzar a generar industria nacional a través de las farmacéuticas.
Start developing our national industries through the pharmaceuticals.
La alta tecnología.
The high technology industry.
Y identificar qué productos necesitan otros países.
And identify what products do other nations need.
Para nosotros exportarlo hacia esos otros países.
So we can export it to them.
Y que ellos nos paguen con su capital.
and let them pay us with their capital
para nosotros aumentar nuestro producto nacional,
so we can augment or increase our national product,
que es lo mismo que nos están haciendo ellos hoy día,
which is the same thing they're doing to us right now,
pero esta vez protegiendo la economía de los puertorriqueños.
but this time protecting the national industry of the Puerto Ricans.
Eso, hacia eso es que vamos.
That's the focus.
Qué chévere. Tremendo plan, pero es como tú dices, estamos en un punto de crisis, ¿verdad? ¿Usted piensa que podamos hacerlo entre 5 años?
Puerto Rico genera 107 mil millones de dólares anuales.
107,000. $107 billion are generated in Puerto Rico.
Para 3 millones de personas es suficiente
For 3 million people, it's sufficient.
y es superior a todos en el Caribe.
And it's superior to any other of the nations on the island. In other words,
Así que hay que eliminar el miedo y la falsa impresión del que el puertorriqueño no tiene las capacidades para gobernarse a sí mismo.
so we need to eliminate the false imagery and the fear that a lot of Puerto Ricans have that we can't auto-govern ourselves.
Dame hacerte otra pregunta. De esa cantidad de 107 billones, ¿verdad?
Ajá.
¿Cuánto de ese dinero se queda en la isla?
¿Cuánto de ese dinero se queda de los 107 billones?
Sí.
Pues mira, le voy a decir. Los 107 billones es el Producto Interno Bruto.
That's the GDP of the Puerto Rico is 107 billion.
Eso incluye las licencias foráneas.
That includes the foreign licenses.
Cuando usted le resta la licencia foránea,
When you remove the foreign licenses from that,
usted va a llegar a 70 mil millones de dólares,
you're going to arrive at $70 billion,
donde se demuestra que en fuga por licencia extranjera
which
sobrepasan los 30 mil millones de dólares.
demonstrates that over $30 billion leave the island of Puerto Rico with the foreign licenses.
Y para que la gente tenga una idea del crimen económico que vivimos en Puerto Rico,
And so people can have an idea of the economic crime that people are enduring in Puerto Rico.
que sepan que de los 107 billones de dólares que se generan en Puerto Rico,
Let them know that of the $107 billion that are generated in Puerto Rico,
el gobierno solamente opera con 8.5 billones de dólares.
the people of Puerto Rico, the government only operates with 8.5 billion dollars is all that is used to operate the government of Puerto Rico.
Ese es el 9% del dinero que se genera en nuestra economía.
That's 99% of the money that's actually generated by the economy of Puerto Rico is used by
Y
the
por
government.
eso somos unos esclavos económicos de los Estados Unidos.
And that's why I said we are economic slaves of the United States.
Son así.
Ay, Dios mío, y cuando también lo pongo a pensar, ¿verdad? ¿Usted no piensa que el problema de esto es el capitalismo?
El modelo como tal.
Sí.
Lo que pasa es que el capitalismo fracasó a nivel mundial.
It's in other words, the capitalism has failed on a global stage.
Porque el capitalismo no procura el bienestar de las sociedades, solamente le brinda rentabilidad al capital financiero.
Because its focus is not the conditions of the people and the nations where it's implanted. The only focus is the profitability of capital, of the corporations.
Y ese problema que vivimos en Puerto Rico
And that
es
problem,
el mismo que viven los Estados Unidos.
and that's the same problem that the people of the United States are enduring too.
Por eso allá tienen una deuda pública de 23 trillones.
That's the reason why the U.S. government has a $23 billion
No, trillion.
Trillion. ¿Dijiste trillones o billones?
Trillones.
Trillones.
23 trillion debt, public debt. That's why the United States has them.
Y por eso en Estados Unidos tienen que pagar seguros y contribuciones por todo, porque es la gente quien paga el dinero que se roban el gran capital.
And that's why the U.S. citizenry has to pay pretty much every type of tax and insurance imaginable, because it's the people that are going to be paying off those debts that the great capital, U.S. industries, are wasting.
Usted compra una casa y siempre tendrá que pagar contribuciones por tener esa casa.
If you buy a house, you'll always have to pay property taxes in the USA for that house.
Porque con ese dinero se cubre la fuga de capitales.
Because with that money, that's how they cover the fleeing of capital.
Ahora que tú estás diciendo eso, una de las razones por que mucha de la gente en la isla me dicen que no quieren que los Estados Unidos coja el territorio de Puerto Rico y lo haga un estado, es por eso, por los impuestos. La gente supuestamente tienen temor de pagar impuestos en Puerto Rico. ¿Eso es cierto?
Bueno, lo que sucede es que tienen que entender que Puerto Rico es un paraíso fiscal.
People have to understand that Puerto Rico is a fiscal paradise.
pero no para los puertorriqueños.
but not for the Puerto Ricans.
Es un paraíso fiscal para el gran capital
It's a fiscal paradise for the U.S., the great capital, the U.S. capital,
y un infierno contributivo para los puertorriqueños.
and it's a contributive inferno or hell for the Puerto Ricans.
Así que si los Estados Unidos integraran a Puerto Rico como un estado,
If the United States would integrate Puerto Rico as a U.S. state,
los grandes inversionistas que son los que pagan las campañas de los congresistas,
the great investment bankers and corporations who are the ones who finance the campaigns of the congressmen,
Special interest.
perderían el beneficio contributivo que tienen en esta isla del Caribe para lavar su dinero.
they will lose the fiscal paradise that they have on the island of Puerto Rico to essentially launder their money.
Y esa es historia.
And that's story. That's history.
Wow, pam, pam, pam.
But-
Eso es cierto,
No, pero
¿verdad?
gracias por ponerlo en arroz y habichuela.
Sí,
Sometimes it's
seguro.
necessary to, as we say in Spanish, put it in rice and beans in ways that people can understand. I'm loving this discussion, porque esta discusión es una discusión que yo creo que muchos economistas y gente que estudian política entienden, pero pocas personas la ponen en palabras que, mira, es aquí, ¿cómo se dice? 2 más 2 es 4. You know,
Yeah.
2 plus 2 is 4.
Porque no la practican. Los economistas en Puerto Rico solamente son teóricos y su sueldo está sujeto a que el gran capital le pague por sus análisis financieros.
And the reason for this, he's saying, is because the economists in Puerto Rico are all theoretical, and because all of their work is basically, their salaries are paid by U.S. capital and the U.S. the upper classes to essentially do an economic analysis. So all they do is talk.
En mi caso, a mí me entrena el enemigo porque cuando yo estudié ingeniería me enseñaron las economics.
So in my case, the enemy trained me because when I studied civil engineering, I also studied the economic aspects of things.
Y ellos me enseñaron a explotar un recurso.
And they taught me how to exploit a resource.
Pero mi corazón me enseñó a defender a mi isla.
But my heart taught me how to defend my island.
Así que esos conocimientos que ellos me enseñaron los vamos a aplicar para combatirlos a ellos mismos en su propio campo.
So we're going to use the knowledge that they taught me to essentially fight them on their own field. On their own.
Eliezer, tú eres tan impresivo, tú sabes, ¿verdad? Te digo.
Impresionante.
Impresionante, ¿ves?
Ya son
Es
dos.
otra,
Ya
es
son-
another Spanglish word.
Ya son dos. Una tercera y me tiene que comprar un trago.
Pero es cierto, lo que les digo es cierto.
Sí,
Yeah,
sí,
it is.
seguro.
Es cierto.
So, déjame otra. La Junta Fiscal. ¿Cómo es que ustedes van a batallar contra esa Junta Fiscal? Porque aunque se tomó la decisión que it was unconstitutional recientemente, ellos siguen, ¿verdad? Con la influencia de ellos en Puerto Rico.
The question is, how are we going to fight with this junta, this fiscal junta? Because they continue, doing their thing. Even though they're unconstitutional, they're still working.
Lo que pasa es que no es que sea inconstitucional la Junta,
It's not that the junta is unconstitutional.
es que es ilegal el colonialismo.
It's that colonialism is illegal.
Así que simplemente la Junta de Control Fiscal es un síntoma que brinda el colonialismo porque el poder político sobre Puerto Rico lo tienen los Estados Unidos.
The junta is just a symptom of U.S. colonialism over Puerto Rico.
Si no quieren Junta, necesitamos la independencia.
If you don't want to have a junta over Puerto Rico, we just need independence for Puerto Rico.
Así que de nada vale nosotros criticar a la Junta porque estaríamos avalando el sistema político impuesto sobre los puertorriqueños y eso es lo que tenemos que corregir.
It's worthless to criticize the junta or to focus our attention on the junta because when we do that, we validate U.S. colonialism of Puerto Rico, and that's what we have to fight.
Pero tú no piensas que ellos están haciendo mucho daño, ellos están implementando austerity measures.
¿La Junta?
Ya, están haciendo mucho daño en la isla.
El daño lo están haciendo los congresistas que imponen una Junta de Control Fiscal sobre Puerto Rico.
It's not the junta, it's the U.S. congressmen who are doing the harm on the island of Puerto Rico because they're the ones that impose the junta.
Que no quepa duda que cada acción que toma la Junta está avalada por el Congreso.
Let there be no doubt that everything that the junta does on the island of Puerto Rico is completely supported by the U.S. congressmen.
Incluyendo porque miembros de esa Junta emitieron deuda ilegal.
Including,
están ahí.
Including that members of that junta have emitted illegal debt and they're there.
Y están ahí porque el Congreso los envió a buscar el dinero de sus inversionistas.
And the reason that they're here is because U.S. congressmen send them to essentially search for the money for their investment people, to be able to basically to recollect the money. So
Y como el
básicamente
capital
ellos son
como el
como los
capital
mafiosos.
financiero déjame poner este punto.
Yeah.
Y en el capital financiero impera de esa manera en todo el mundo, cerrando escuelas,
Okay.
recortando el presupuesto de educación.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So he's saying that international finance and capital essentially operates the same way on the international stage. They cut out the educational funds or budgets
De educación, de salud,
from the healthcare budget.
cortan las pensiones, las cuentas de pensión,
They cut people's pensions, the elderly.
cortan los servicios esenciales,
They cut essential services.
imponen la privatización,
They impose privatization.
y así vemos cómo cómo deja de operar todo un gobierno en el bienestar de su sociedad.
Okay, and that's how we see that the government stops operating for the goodness of the people, the social justice,
Y comienza a darle rentabilidad al capital financiero.
and basically makes it profitable for what do you call it, foreign investment capital to be able to operate.
Entonces ahí es que tenemos que preguntarnos si aquí manda la sociedad o el gran capital.
So that's when we have to ask ourselves: do we in Puerto Rico are we going to be the ones ruling on the island, or is it going to be great capital?
Pues tú no piensas que debemos de remover la Junta, una. Y segunda, se ha hablado mucho de la deuda, que si debemos de auditarla, sí.
Lo que sucede es que es ilegal la Junta de por sí. Es ilegal el colonialismo de por sí.
The thing is, the junta itself, colonialism, is illegal.
Así que la deuda es ilegítima.
So therefore, the debt itself is illegitimate.
Tan es así que es el Congreso quien nombra la Junta, porque la deuda es del Congreso desde el 1900, cuando inventaron el pueblo de Puerto Rico.
The debt basically belongs to the Congress from 1898, when they took over Puerto Rico.
En la ley Foraker.
And the Foraker Law.
Eso es así.
So, usted está hablando sobre el concepto de la deuda odiosa, de odious debt.
Bueno, si Puerto Rico fue invadido militarmente,
if Puerto Rico was invaded militarily,
toda la deuda pública que se emitió bajo ese territorio, sin tener una gobernanza propia, es odiosa.
Okay, so he's what do you call it? Supporting my point that basically it's a concept on international law that's of odious debt, meaning he's saying if Puerto Rico was militarily invaded in 1898, every public debt that was issued from 1898 and on under the condition of a territory, of a colonial territory of island Puerto Rico, it's odious debt, meaning we don't have to pay it.
And it belongs to the United States.
It belongs to the sovereign. El soberano. Y el soberano, el Congreso.
Por eso yo le digo a nuestro pueblo.
That's why I tell my people.
Que nos olvidemos de los fondos federales.
Forget the federal funds.
Que nos olvidemos del pago por haber sido colonizado.
Forget about the payment for being colonized.
Y que Estados Unidos simplemente se retire de nuestra isla.
And let the United States retire simply from the island of Puerto Rico.
Con toda su deuda.
With all of its debt.
Nos entreguen el poder de nuestros recursos.
Give us the power over our resources.
Y nosotros vamos a levantar nuestra isla con la dignidad que se merece.
And we're going to basically raise this island from the ground up with the dignity that we need to do it with.
Porque nosotros tenemos la capacidad para controlar nuestros recursos y que esos miles de millones que se generan aquí se queden aquí.
Because we have the capacity to generate those resources and for all those billions of dollars to stay in the island of Puerto Rico.
Y utilizarlos para un mejor bienestar social.
And to use them for a better well-being of the island, of the people of the island.
Eso es así, nosotros no nos necesitamos a ellos. Son ellos quienes nos necesitan a nosotros.
We don't need them, they need us.
Sí.
Okay.
So, me gustaría ver que saquen a Rosselló de ahí.
A todo, ¿verdad?
Tienen que remover a Rosselló, tienen que cambiar ese sistema político que existe en el momento, porque pienso yo que estos cambios que usted está sugiriendo van a ser bien difícil implementarla con el gobierno que existe en el momento.
Si fuese fácil, no fuésemos colonia.
If it was easy, we wouldn't be a colony. Una preguntita, ¿vas a estar participando en las protestas de... hago la pregunta bien genéricamente neutral, como que si vas a participar en las protestas de Mayo 1. Yo personalmente no soy muy, ¿qué es la palabra? Tengo mucha fe que va a hacer muchos cambios, pero lo tiro ahí para la discusión pública. ¿Va a estar yendo a las protestas que están viniendo estos días?
Eliezer Molina nació del pueblo porque siempre está con el pueblo en todas esas actividades. Siempre estamos ahí.
So he's saying that yes, he's going to go to the May 1st protest because he's of the people, and wherever there's a people struggle, he'll be there.
Pero que sepa la gente
But
que
that-
no debe ser un día, debe ser indefinido.
Mira, finally, un corazón, a kindred spirit, le he dicho lo mismo. He's saying that it can't just be one day. It has to be continual protests.
Para que ellos entiendan que son las personas quienes son el motor económico de esta isla.
So that they understand that the motor of the economy of the island of Puerto Rico are the people. So it should be
Y
many
no el
days.
capital financiero.
And not finance capital, not the great capital that runs the economy.
Déjame hacer otra pregunta de nuevo, son tantas. The infrastructure de la isla, la infraestructura de la isla, ¿cómo le va? ¿Cómo vamos a mejorar esa situación? Porque son muchos que se están fugando de la isla por esa misma situación, porque necesitan atención médica.
Por eso, porque se están recortando el presupuesto para cumplir con nuestros servicios esenciales, para pagarle a unos bonistas. Eso tiene que acabar.
It has to say, this is part of the structure I was speaking about. They're cutting the essential services like healthcare in order to basically save that money and spend it on paying off the debts of Puerto Rico, of these investment people.
Incluyendo ciertos gastos ordinarios que tenemos, como por ejemplo 100 millones en 3 años para la Comisión Estatal de Elecciones, inoperante. Cuando esos 100 millones se pueden dirigir al centro médico.
Well, as an example, we are right now spending $100 million on the Electoral Commission, which does nothing. We haven't had an election all this time, and that $100 million could have been used to the Centro Médico, the public hospital complex of services on San Juan.
Y tenemos que acabar con el sistema de salud privatizado que hizo el papá del gobernador.
And we have to end with the privatized healthcare system that was designed by the current governor's father, Pedro Rosselló Sr.
Donde se nos vendió toda una infraestructura de un sistema universal de salud ejemplar.
So we the people of Puerto Rico were sold the story of a universal healthcare, la reforma.
Nosotros teníamos ese sistema universal y lo perdimos para darle rentabilidad a las grandes aseguradoras de salud.
We used to have a public system, and we gave it up to be able to give profitability to the great insurance companies.
Creadas por el capital financiero y la banca.
Created by the finance, capital, and banking industries.
Los mismos que quebraron a Puerto Rico.
The same people that essentially bankrupted the island of Puerto Rico.
Pues, if you haven't been listening or you're just tuning in, this is Valley Free Radio, Impacto Cultural with Darlene Elias
y
René González, and we have on the line Eliezer Molina speaking to us directly from Puerto Rico. And right now, he, I would say, is one of the most influential individuals, influential Boricuas on the island, who is promoting and educating his people in regards to the economy of Puerto Rico and how it can be turned around. Right?
So, una preguntita hablando de ese tema de educación. Voy a darlo en inglés primero y después vamos contigo. So, I'm going to say a question in English. You know, he's all about education, about educating the people before we do any political or economic changes, and that's what he's focusing on. So, I'm going to ask him a question now about, for people who are listening right now in English and for the Spanish listeners today, what type of books might be good reads for people to start getting a handle of what's the situation in Puerto Rico, what's going on with the economic and political system, and where we can go from this. So, I'm going to make the question in Spanish to him. ¿Qué tipo de libros o proyectos o cosas así o páginas del internet le puede recomendar a los radioescuchas para poderle empezar a educar sobre estas cosas? Yo tengo alguna idea, pero quiero oír alguna de las de usted.
¿Libros como tal?
Libros o proyectos en el internet que quizá usted dice, de verdad que esta persona hizo un buen trabajo desarrollando un plan de ataque que hace sentido para la persona, el lector común o la persona que está escuchando.
En una isla, en una colonia donde la historia ha sido oculta.
In an island where history has been occult or has been hidden.
A nivel educativo.
At the level of education.
Nos saca de esa estructura si queremos comprender la realidad de nuestra isla.
We have to go out of that structure in order to be able to understand the real situation on the island.
Y yo no encuentro un texto.
And I don't have any book or any text. I haven't found one.
Donde claramente se nos exponga nuestra realidad.
I haven't been able to see one that exposes our reality.
Y yo lo que les recomiendo a las personas.
And I recommend to the people.
es que simplemente vean lo que nos está ocurriendo económicamente a nosotros.
And I recommend to people that basically look around you and see what's happening economically to everybody.
Y vean lo que le ocurrió a países hermanos como Argentina,
And look at what happened to countries like Argentina,
Grecia,
Greece,
Ecuador
Ecuador,
y toda América Latina, porque lo que nos ocurre a nosotros es lo mismo que le está ocurriendo a los demás.
Okay.
Y eso no tiene que ver con rojo y azul. Es que el capital financiero es dueño de la economía mundial.
This is something that's happening to all the countries of Latin America because finance capital dominates the global economy. So this is beyond PNPs or populares. This is happening to all without distinction. So, hablando de algunos libros, no sé si ha leído los de Naomi Klein, de la doctrina de Chuck.
Ajá.
Que esencialmente, hasta cierto punto, pues, pone el punto que está diciendo usted, lo pone en la página de que esto está pasando, lo han tratado en Argentina, lo trataron en Gran Bretaña, lo trataron en China, en Rusia, en todos los sitios de Operación Condor, en todo en el sur del cono de Sudamérica. So, eso sería uno de los libros que recomendaría para que la gente pueda entender el concepto del neoliberalismo.
Bueno, eso lo recomendaría usted. Yo no recomiendo libros de nadie.
Ay, bueno.
He says, you recommend it, René. I don't recommend anybody's books.
y mucho menos de alguien que venga de allá.
And much less people that come from the United States.
Parte del problema, Eliezer, es que todo el mundo está de acuerdo que algo se tiene que hacer con Puerto Rico, que estamos en una crisis, que tenemos que cambiar, right? The trajectory, the path, right? La carrera de Puerto Rico en el momento. El problema es que la gente no sabe cómo empezar, cómo envolverse, cómo activarse en esta situación de Puerto Rico, cómo proveer apoyo. Lo que estoy viendo es mucha habla, mucho discurso, mucha conversación, pero como que hay una falta de leadership, right? De liderato,
yeah.
right? En el movimiento. And what's the direction that we should take? Y por esa razón te estamos haciendo estas preguntas de cómo es que podemos educar al público. What's the best way to do that, right? To activate the diaspora out here, y los boricua, and get them behind a leadership, a movement that in fact is positioning the best interest of the island and its people over corporate interest and profit. ¿Cómo es que podemos hacer eso?
Un buen inicio.
Sí.
Es cuando nosotros presentemos el nuevo modelo político y económico para los puertorriqueños.
When we present the new political and economic model for Puerto Ricans, that'll be a good start.
Los medios le den paso para que las personas tengan la capacidad de leerlo y analizarlo, y con el alma del conocimiento puedan tomar su propio sano juicio.
So once the media distributes these particular new plans and the people are able to study it for themselves, they can come to their own good judgment about it.
¿Y cuándo sale
si los medios no lo hacen? Si los medios no lo hacen,
if the mass media doesn't do it,
que sepan que el pueblo ya lo está haciendo a través de nuestras páginas, compartiendo esa información.
Let them know that we're already doing it, spreading it through social media.
¿Y cuándo sale el plan más o menos? ¿No sabes? Porque me encantaría tener otra entrevista contigo para revisar el plan.
Estamos hablando de que puede que sea como en 1 o 2 meses.
In about 1 or 2 months, we'll be releasing these documentations.
Está hecho.
It's already completed, but we're going to.
So, ¿tiene un equipo en base ya trabajando contigo?
Por supuesto.
Yeah,
Ay, qué chévere.
He's saying that, yeah, we do have a working team.
Hay personas que componen algo que se llama el movimiento de conciencia.
The movement of conscience, people who are members of the movement of conscience.
Que son profesionales puertorriqueños que decidieron quedarse en Puerto Rico.
Who are professionals who decided to stay in the island of Puerto Rico.
Y otros que no viven aquí, que viven en los Estados Unidos.
And people who live also in the United States.
Y formaron parte de ese grupo para poder rescatar a Puerto Rico de las manos de la corrupción, del capital financiero y del Congreso de los Estados Unidos.
And they've joined up together to be able to save Puerto Rico from finance capital, corruption, and those things.
De manera gratuita brindaron sus conocimientos y su tiempo para que esto sea real.
And they freely gave their talent and knowledge without any compensation so that this could happen.
Eso me da mucha esperanza, Eliezer, porque te puedo decir, estaba yo como una persona acá, como parte de la diáspora acá, triste, viendo lo que está sucediendo con la isla en estos días y tratando de entender o discernir cómo es que vamos a bregar con esta situación, porque yo lo que estaba viendo yo son muchas organizaciones, ¿entiendes? You know, you had the National Puerto Rican Agenda, National Council on la Raza, you know, all of the political groups in Puerto Rico, y todo el mundo hablando de qué tiene que suceder, pero nadie con un plan, nadie con un plan fijo o recomendaciones fijos. So, I really appreciate that you're doing this. Una de las cosas que quiero sugerir también es que traten de alinearse con the media. Con personas o grupos que pueden disseminate, ¿verdad? Que, sí, compartir con el plan en un nivel entre la gente, como estaba diciendo tú. Porque algunas veces se hace difícil la gente comprender lo técnico de ese plan.
Es bien difícil, por eso nosotros utilizamos nuestras plataformas.
Sí, tenemos
para explicarlo de la manera más neutral y correcta, porque los medios suelen tergiversar siempre el mensaje que uno trata de dar.
So we try to use our own social media more than anything because the media many times manipulates the message for their purposes, so we like to go directly to the people.
Y ellos podrán ser dueños de la opinión publicada, pero no de la opinión pública.
And they may be owners of the published opinion, but they're not owners of the public opinion.
Wow, ¿verdad? Eso es tremendo refrán, Eliezer, bien, pero bien fuerte. Tú estás, pero tremenda persona que estamos entrevistando hoy, ¿verdad? Me tiene bien inspirada, motivada, ¿verdad? Pero,
la diáspora tiene que activarse porque nos duplican en densidad poblacional. Y es allá que hay que ejercer presión, más que en Puerto Rico. Hay que llevarle la crisis a la casa de quien la creó, para que sientan lo que nosotros estamos sufriendo.
Buen punto, porque lo que yo me di de cuenta es que el discurso de Puerto Rico se amplificó con los huracanes, ¿verdad? Pero después de eso como que cayó. Right, and it's starting to pick up again. Está recogiendo un poquito ahora con la elección presidencial, porque todo el mundo quiere el apoyo de los boricuas, ¿verdad? Y el voto de los boricuas. Pero de nuevo, eso no es algo sincero.
Esas personas profanaron nuestra cultura, profanaron nuestra etnia, criminalmente nos esclavizaron económicamente y no merecen un voto de un solo puertorriqueño. De ninguno, porque demócratas y republicanos ambos crearon el problema que nosotros tenemos.
He's saying that none of the Democrats or Republicans, none of them deserve the vote of the Puerto Ricans because they were the ones who created the situation for hundreds of years of suffering for the people of Puerto Rico.
And let me put a plug in for the Green Party, el Partido Verde, porque yo pertenezco al Partido Verde y nosotros estamos ahí en la lucha con Puerto Rico, okay? Estamos ahí andando con ustedes y explicando y educando a la gente sobre el colonialismo y el impacto negativo.
¿Ese es el que Bernie Sanders es parte?
En ningún momento, él es demócrata. Estamos hablando del Partido Verde, nosotros hacemos la parte de nosotros y está en la plataforma de nosotros de eliminar el colonialismo en Puerto Rico, ¿ok?
Sí, porque aquí vino Bernie Sanders, que muchas personas le dicen a los puertorriqueños que ese es el hombre, Ese señor cuando vino en Puerto Rico se le preguntó sobre el colonialismo y respondió lo mismo que responden todos los candidatos a la presidencia, que eso es un asunto de los puertorriqueños.
Sí, y que ellos apoyan...
Es hipocresía.
Exacto, es una forma de lavarse la mano.
Y ellos lo que dicen es que ellos apoyan el self-determination, ¿verdad? Pero ellos no analizan o no, they don't elaborate, ¿qué quiere decir self-determination?
¿Qué es la libre determinación? La libre determinación simplemente es una resolución que pasaron las 7 potencias colonizadoras a través de la resolución 1541 de 1960, aplastando e ignorando la única reconocida por el derecho universal, que es la 1514-15, donde se le entrega la soberanía a todos los pueblos, porque es el único derecho reconocido por el derecho universal. Y todo eso se nos está violentando, se nos está tratando de pasar por encima para que simplemente Estados Unidos controle económicamente el poder de su territorio.
Y ahí lo tienes, dicho aquí en Impacto Cultural.
¿Vamos a ir a un break?
Sí, vamos a un breakcito.
Gracias por la discusión, no se vayan, Eliseo, no te vayas, vamos a estar escuchando un poquito de música y te hablamos por el teléfono. Here we go, on a little break with Lalo Rodríguez, Semillita de Cultura. To try to match Lalo Rodriguez, because usually when I come in from music, I always try to do the singing. This guy's like, hey, I made it.
Oh my God.
I had to falsetto, but I made it. You know what?
Yeah.
Give me some props. I was able to falsetto do that.
People don't know what I go through behind the scenes during the breaks.
I went all Philip Bailey for Earth, Wind, and Fire fans.
So you're listening to Valley Free Radio, Impacto Cultural, which is a, radio show that we started maybe about 8 to 10 months ago. And its, focus is to highlight
political
the issues, right?
Social situations,
cultural situations, situations that impact our Latino community.
Interviews with,
That's
with,
right.
with musicians and artists.
Yeah, real talk, real people,
talk.
real issues,
That's right.
And so on the line we have Eliezer Molina, who has kind of risen up as an influential figure in Puerto Rico in regards to the crisis in Puerto Rico and how it needs to be handled economically. And we've been speaking with him for over the past hour, and he's given us some really good suggestions and explanations as to why Puerto Rico is in the situation that it's in. And so we're going to be wrapping up with him soon of some last few words and few thoughts. But before we do that, I wanted to announce an event that is happening. It's called No to U.S. Colonialism, Independence for Puerto Rico. And it's a march, and it's fighting the injustice in Puerto Rico. And they want you to join El Frente Independentista Boricua. Oh, I have awful time. Yes, that's 3. Stop it. At 59th Street, Columbus Circle, marching to Dag Hammer Plaza, United Nations. They want you to save the date because they would like for all of the diaspora to come and become involved in this march. And it's going to be Saturday, September 21st, 2019, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And for more info or contact, you can contact the Frente Independentista Boricua. And they are on Facebook. And this was brought to you by Lorraine. Lorraine from Call to Action. Thank you very much for bringing us that information. So here we are with Eliezer. And Eliezer, we really would like for you to just kind of conclude and wrap up the show. We find you to be such an interesting, dynamic character, un señor bien interesante, dinámico, educado. Por favor, déjanos saber en pocas palabras, cerrar el show con lo que tú piensas que tenemos que hacer para salvar a Puerto Rico.
Bueno, ya que voy a empezar por la parte que tocan de las Naciones Unidas.
We're going to start from the United Nations.
Estamos tratando de lograr un espacio, un turno, ante esas vistas.
We're trying to achieve a moment where we can address the people of the UN.
Porque le vamos a decir a ese comité
Because we're going to tell that committee
que entre su mediocridad y su inacción para con nuestro problema,
because of their mediocrity and lack of action with our problem,
los puertorriqueños van a actuar por sí mismos,
the people of Puerto Rico are going to act on their own,
sin el respeto a ningún organismo
without any respect to any organism
que se ha comportado como un cómplice ante el atropello económico que se ha ejercido sobre Puerto Rico.
which has acted as an accomplice with the abuse, the economic abuse that has been done against the people of Puerto Rico.
Y eso es algo que vamos a tratar de lograr si nos conceden ese turno.
If we're able to get that ability to speak, address the UN, we're going to try to do that.
A los puertorriqueños que viven en los Estados Unidos,
To the people of the United States, the Puerto Ricans in the United States,
los que vivimos aquí necesitamos de su presión
the people of,
hacia los entes políticos de los Estados Unidos.
the people of Puerto Rico need your pressure against the organisms of power in the United States.
Porque los problemas económicos que tiene Puerto Rico
Because the economic problems that Puerto Rico has
es porque los puertorriqueños no tienen el poder político para defenderse
because the people of Puerto Rico do not have the political powers to be able to defend themselves against,
para poder despertar nuestra industria nacional
in order to be able to awake our national industry
y poder desarrollar nuestra economía
and be able to develop our economy
y poder rescatar nuestra isla
and be able
de las
to
manos del capital financiero,
rescue our island from finance capital, from international capital,
que son los reales dueños de Puerto Rico.
who are the true owners of the island of Puerto Rico.
Que la gente sepa
Let the people know
que quien quebró a Grecia,
the ones that bankrupted Greece,
que se apoderó de la autoridad de las aguas de Grecia,
that took over the water utilities in Greece,
hoy día es el dueño de las cadenas hoteleras de Puerto Rico,
it's the same one that owns the hotel industry of Puerto Rico.
lo cual el buitre John Paulson
John Bolton, the vulture, John Bolton,
creó esta situación.
created the situation,
Y ahora tenemos que verlo por ahí en la prensa diciendo que él se va a mudar a vivir a Puerto Rico.
So he created the situation. Now we have to see him in the press saying to the press that he's going to move to Puerto Rico.
porque es el único lugar en el mundo donde un ciudadano americano puede vivir sin pagar contribuciones.
Because it's the only place in the world where the U.S. citizen can live without having to pay taxes.
El mismo que pagó $1 billón el año pasado en contribuciones en Estados Unidos.
The same one that paid $1 billion of taxes in the United States.
El mismo que hace 2 años le regaló $400 millones a Harvard.
The same one that gave $100 million to Harvard 2 years ago.
No paga un centavo en contribuciones en Puerto Rico.
Did not pay any contributions, any taxes in the island of Puerto Rico.
Y eso lo vamos a acabar.
And we're going to end that.
Que sepan los puertorriqueños
Let the Puerto Ricans know
que los vamos a levantar del lugar donde estamos ahora mismo en el suelo.
we are going to awake from the situation where we are right now.
Y Puerto Rico va a comenzar a tener un mejor fin social,
And we're going to have a better social situation,
acabando con el maltengo corporativo
ending corporate welfare,
y con la gran imposición de las leyes de todo un Congreso corrupto
and the great imposition of a corrupt Congress
que vive del sufrimiento de los puertorriqueños,
that lives off of the suffering of the Puerto Rican people,
con la esclavitud moderna que le llaman el neocolonialismo.
with the new slavery, which we call, or everybody calls, neocolonialism.
Así que muchas gracias por el espacio y por la atención, ¿verdad?, que nos han brindado.
Thank you for the space and the attention that you've given us.
Y si los puertorriqueños todos se unen bajo un mismo propósito común,
And if we all unite, all Puerto Ricans unite behind a common cause,
podremos cambiar el rumbo de nuestra isla para uno mejor.
we could change the path of our island to a better one.
Está en nuestras manos.
It's in our hands.
Eliezer, si la gente te quieren seguir y mantenerse
En Facebook.
mantenerse en contacto contigo, ¿verdad? Porque tú sabes que Facebook lo que tiene son la habilidad de tener 5,000 amigos o personas, ¿verdad? Tienen
Yo tengo un fanpage en Facebook
He has a fan
que
page.
no depende del límite de 5,000. Usted le da like o follow y es ilimitado.
Okay, so he has a fan page on Facebook. You can just click like on it, and all his commentary and all his pronouncements will be made there.
Y si ellos se quieren envolver directamente contigo, por ejemplo, personas que quieren tratar de apoyarte de acá en los Estados Unidos, ¿cómo lo pueden hacer?
Pueden escribirme a mi página o a la página en Facebook del Movimiento de Conciencia.
El movimiento de
You can
conciencia.
also find the page, the Movement of Conscience website on Facebook. You can write there or write my fan page to communicate with us.
Y en YouTube también tenemos un canal.
And we have a channel on YouTube as well.
Sí, porque estoy muy de acuerdo contigo que esto va a ser una lucha entre los intelectuales, ¿verdad? Porque son la gente que están trabajando, que son educados, que son profesionales, que van a traer el cambio también con Puerto Rico. Tiene que ser con la gente, tú sabes, que están trabajando la tierra y que están viviendo el crisis en Puerto Rico, pero a la misma vez se tienen que unir con los intelectuales, ¿no?
Sí, los de cuello y corbata solamente sirven para robar dinero.
The ones with what do you call it, suits and ties, they only serve to steal money.
Pues gracias tanto, Eliezer, por su tiempo. Esperamos que en el futuro puedas regresar y hablar con nosotros sobre el plan que están desarrollando. Y te diremos, estamos aquí en la lucha contigo.
Muchas gracias y nuestras puertas siempre están abiertas porque por uno no vivir aquí no deja de ser puertorriqueño, todo lo contrario.
Exacto,
Quien
exacto.
se tuvo que ir de Puerto Rico por la politiquería, la corrupción y el colonialismo, sufre en carne propia lo que es el destierro y yo creo que peor sentimiento que ese no existe para un ser humano.
Eso es verdad, eso tiene razón.
Así es. Gracias tanto y que tenga buen día y nos hablaremos pronto.
Muchas gracias, ha sido un honor y un placer poder compartir con ustedes.
Adiós, bye bye.
All right. So that was a great conversation. I hope I did my best with the translating, because let me tell you, it's not easy translating on the fly and
Right.
providing context, because there's certain words in Spanish or concepts he wants to talk about that I know he's trying to evoke in Spanish, but I have to find a way to do it in
And the
English.
choice that we made to translate was for us to make sure that it reached as many people
That's
as
right.
possible, because I was once they knew that Eliezer Molina was going to be on the show, I was getting a lot of messages last night. In the last
I can tell
couple
why
days.
he's a hot topic right now. He's got his head well on his shoulder. He knows what he's talking about, and I like his resolute nature. He's not cutting mincing words. This is
Yes.
what we're gonna do. we're gonna do this, and I loved it.
Well, you know, I
It's a
think
discussion.
one of the things that I liked about him the most is that he's doesn't have an ego. It doesn't seem to me like he has an ego. I think that some of the leaders that we have, whether it's in Puerto Rico or here in the United States, they're very narcissistic, if you're understanding what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all about them. It's all about power. It's all about fame, and it's all about image. And, I'm thinking along the lines when I hear him talk, when I watch him, whether it's on the internet, online, I'm finding a man that's extremely humble, right? And that his heart is in the right place, and that he's about the Puerto Rican people, and he's about the island and about saving it. And, we may not see this improvement in our lifetime, right? Because we don't know what the trajectory is. I do believe in resistance and standing up, and fighting the struggle together. But at least one of the things I think he will feel good about, and people like ourselves will feel good about, is that our attempts to educate the public and to save the island was consistent. It's constant.
Yeah.
It's not, crisis oriented. It's just not reactionary. It's like he said, that the struggle needs to be ongoing, right?
Yeah.
And it needs to be a constant. And and you need to also, I believe, focus. Don't allow yourselves to be swayed by public interest. Don't allow yourself to be swayed by the media that is controlled by public interest. And that you need to have, the best interests of Puerto Rico and the island. And when you see individuals like that have the best interests of Puerto Rico and the island, then you need to tend to gravitate towards those individuals and give them as much support as you can. So, from Western Massachusetts, Northampton, Florence, Pioneer
Florence, yeah,
Valley Free
Pioneer Valley.
Radio, Impacto Cultural, we want to give you props, Eliezer, and commend you for all of the hard work that you're doing out there in Puerto Rico.
Entonces, for my last recommendation, obviously, as part of that struggle to educate, I know he didn't recommend the book, he doesn't recommend the books, but as an intellectual, I do recommend 2 or 3 books that we need to know for understanding the Puerto Rican struggle. War Against All Puerto Ricans by Nelson Dennis, so you can get a history of the 100 years of colonialism in Puerto Rico. You got to get it. War Against All Puerto Ricans, Nelson Dennis. Second book I recommend is Naomi Klein's The Shock Doctrine, to understand what is the neoliberal economic model that he keeps saying is this model that is only focused on finance, capital, and their profitability, and cutting all the other services. Well, it's called neoliberalism. It has a name and it has a structure.
Neocolonialism,
And
too.
neocolonialism. It has a name and it has a structure. And Naomi Klein described it in terms in the best terms to understand it. If you don't have the time to read the book, watch it on YouTube. The Shock Doctrine. It's very explanatory. The third book is, what are we going to do with Puerto Rico? The Puerto Rico is envisioning about having a national industry and cutting other products and be able to develop our national industry and making Puerto Rico the Singapore of the Caribbean. Ángel Collado Schwartz has a book called Soberanías Exitosas, the successful sovereign countries, 6 economic models for the island of Puerto Rico, where he talks about Israel, Ireland, Singapore, Estonia, Slovenia, and I believe there was one country more that's eluding me, New Zealand, the island of New Zealand near Australia, as economic models for Puerto Rico. There are already models we can use. We don't have to be Cuba or Venezuela or Nicaragua. There's other countries that are independent and can do, as he said, with the $107 billion that are available, that we produce, we can reinvest it on the island of Puerto Rico, and we can do a lot. We don't need to fear independence. So please, people, those 3 books, take them out from libraries, buy them, and read them.
And resist. Join the movement. Resist. Pa la patria.
Y nos vamos mañana por la mañana de Plena Libre. Thank you very much for listening. 11 to 1 p.m. on Sundays. This is
Impacto Cultural.